Welcome back to the Dream Factory here on the B stream at the Mexico Major. We're going into game number 5 for today. 2 new teams gracing us here on your screens on the B stream. It is BDS versus Team One. A real belter of a game to come up. BDS looking phenomenal, and Team One backed by the 2 boys that are going to join me on either side of me in just a second, Ace and Jackie, who are bringing you the cast for this game as well. Boys, I know you guys really like LATAM. Are you really thinking they can do this one, Ace? You really think they can take the dub over BDS?
Honestly, I've got to say no, I don't. The way Team One have played so far, it's been a struggle for them over the last couple of days. BDS seem like they are cruising. They beat Team One yesterday. I think BDS are looking electric. We know from EUL just how good this team can be, how much depth it has. And Team One, they're going to have to sharpen up. They're going to have to bring their absolute, forget the A game, it's going to have to be the A-star game if they want anything out of BDS. And they've been nowhere near it so far.
Jackie, got to understand on your side. I know you're one of the LATAM faithful. I know you go to church seemingly every single day here, not just on a Sunday. How hard are you backing your boys to take it away from the Titans of Europe?
I could come in and I could, put on a disheartened face and say it's going to be a hard game for the LATAM lunatics here. Team One, probably not going to be Team One. However, you know what? No, I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm the only one that's backing them, and that's because I think that they do have so much talent. Team One, they're going to come in, they're going to cause some kind of upset, and we're going to see all the BDS fans a little bit upset.
You know, Ace, I'm really proud of you that you've seen sense and logic this day, and you're coming round to the way of reason, not the blind faith like this heretic. Here, you're thinking BDS are the one to take it the whole way through. And look, we had some doubts coming in about BDS, about the strategical side of their game, but they have played incredibly well so far.
You see, you're calling it blind faith. I picked Furia against Na'Vi. Furia won. I'm just picking winners over here. And I think I am going to be right with BDS. Like you say, they've just shown the strategy. They seem to have taken the game to the next level so far here at the Major. And I am really looking forward to seeing them play first hand for the first time. BDS has gone big already today, I believe. I think we're probably going to see some more of that. For our money, I know we've discussed it before. Best support player in the world. You got Renshiro, just an amazing flex player, can just step in and do whatever the team needs, and that is before you even touch on a player like Shaiko.
Now, Jackie, I know that LATAM's where your love lies, but you're going to get your taste buds tingled here when you're watching BDS. Some big names on this team. I'm sure even all the way over in Brazil, you've heard of the name Shaiko before, right?
Oh, it echoes around from time to time. Obviously, all names that I've heard cropping up in the scene, right? I know EU is your boy's speciality, but there's even enough to sort of bridge the gap for me here. I've seen bits and bobs of BDS, and every bit of it was impressive in terms of, finally getting the chance to see him myself and watch him go toe-to-toe with a known quantity like Team One. For me, I think it will be a good benchmark, and honestly, Des, I'm hoping to be proved wrong.
Well, fingers crossed. They have looked pretty phenomenal so far. I mentioned on cast earlier on Ace that we kind of checked out what was going on the A stream, and shock horror, it was BDS coming away with a 1v3 clutch. And before we talk a little bit more about Shaiko, talk to me about BDS, because you and I came into this saying, really, he is arguably pound for pound one of the best supports in the world.
He is. You can never crown anybody in this day and age as the absolute best. There's always going to be a contender there. There's always going to be somebody mixing it up, and there's a few other good support players that will give BDS a run for his money, but BDS is certainly joint top. He is right up there with the absolute best. The thing is he going to get the diffuser down? Probably twice as much as anybody else. Is he going to get his frags? Absolutely. Can he clutch out your 1v3? Most definitely. BDS is just super solid. We've seen him run away with the stats in an entire stage of EUL before now, and that is still from that supporting role. He is absolutely unstoppable.
I want to bounce back to you for a second on this one as well, Ace, because Shaiko is our player highlight. Him and Alamar today are the 2 players that we want to be putting a lot of focus on, and you've seen Shaiko play throughout the stage. A bit hot and cold at points, but to be fair with you, when he's on, he is turned on. He's running away with things like an engine, and no one really seems able to stop him. Man, that we're going to get this awkward little slow zoom onto now in the bottom left corner of your screen. Talk to me about Shaiko, Tim.
The thing about Shaiko is when he's turned on, he is all the way up to 11. There is absolutely no stopping the man. We've seen him in back-to-back stages have more than 100 kills in EUL. That is an achievement that is usually reserved for about the top 4 or 5 players around the world. That gives you an idea of this man's quality. And I've got to say, that is even after a few games in EUL Stage 2 that it didn't really feel like he went that big, Des. And yet still he comes away with more than 100 kills. The way that I always put it about Shaiko and the way that I'll put it again, the best way I can sum it up, it's not about his numbers, it's not about his stats. Shaiko makes the impossible feel possible. And that is the reality of why he is so good.
And while we're singing a little love song here for Shaiko, I know that Jackie is dying to get into speaking about Team 1, so let's take a look at them as well. Jackie, your LATAM boys, spearheaded by Alamau. Talk to me about them and what they can do in this game.
Hopefully they can come out and really give a good display of the talent that they have in these 5 players. Some friendly faces and some ferocious plays is normally what comes out of all of them. Lagonis, the man that just flashed up there, it feels like he's probably one of the friendliest leaders I've ever met. The passion that he has, you could literally scrape it off him with a knife. Every time me and Tim got the blessing of speaking to him back during the BR6 seasons, you could see the blood, sweat, tears and blood that he would pump into every game this team played. I'm glad to see that he's still moving on and still competing with the roster. I think he's going to be a big set piece for the team, but as you mentioned as well, Alamau, right? You're looking at frags, you're thinking of something flashy. That boy's going to be turning up to the party, leaving everyone speechless, Des.
By the sounds of it, Lagonis is the man that you trust to take your mum out to afternoon tea, and Alamau's the one you want to send round when someone's bullying your little brother, right?
I think so. That's a pretty on the nail one.
I mean, Tim, talk to me about these as well. You spent all of last year casting these with Jackie as well. What is it in your mind that makes Team 1 so special compared to the other LATAM teams?
Well, I think Team 1 is a team that was pieced together. It was, let's pick up Lagonis because he's a great support player. Let's pick up Alamau because he's an absolute fragger. So each one of them coming in as like a specialist in their role, if you will. And they've got ability just rippling through them. You look at a player like Lagonis. I was fortunate enough to play with him in the Me Invitational, and just being inside of the server with him. This is a player who doesn't necessarily pick up a lot of kills here at the tier 1 level, but it's because of the role he's playing, because believe me, you play alongside him, he's an absolute gunner by comparison to your sort of average everyday or even very good average player. You know, he really is something spectacular, and that just shows then how good players like KDS, Neskin, Alamau really are. Levy as well getting in on the action so far. We just need to see this team click here at the Major. They've got Chubbs as the coach. They've just got experience and ability throughout the roster.
Jackie, I'll bounce back to you on this one again. We spoke about Shaiko. Said that Alamau is his kind of direct comparator here. Everyone knows to fear the Buck and Smoke main from LATAM. But is he the kind of guy that can deal with a team like BDS?
I think he can, mate. Genuinely. One of the reasons as well that I think he's going to have a bit of an edge is you could see the difference in emotions, in the way they're looking in the LAN hall, right? Everyone fired up, giggling, having a good time. Team 1 looks like they're going into this. No stress, no qualms, just looking to do some damage on the server, right? That's the sort of mentality you want to play your best. You can get into flow state, you can get into the game, and let me tell you, when Alamau gets into flow state, it's game over for anyone else.
All right, well, let's hope he finds that flow state today, but we're flowing very comfortably into the map Vito to see where these two titans of their respective regions are going to throw down. We've seen a couple of Coastline games today. How are you boys feeling about that one coming up again? Because why not make it the triple?
I mean, it'd certainly be wild, wouldn't it, if we get on to Coastline with Alamau versus Shaiko showdown to see who can outgun the other, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I'm expecting to see one of our sort of main 3, Clubhouse, Cafe, Oregon. I think that is where we're going to be going this time. There's how annoyed are you going to be if we pick up a chalet, though?
Oh, honestly, mate, it would just be
it's
not
gone,
fair.
don't worry.
All right, mate, look, it's fine, mate. Ace, you keep your job. I'm not kicking you off again for the second time tonight, right?
So we've got Chalet and Consulate both gone by the wayside to begin with. Clubhouse is going to join as Team 1 take that out. It leaves Coastline there on the board. Jackie potentially also looking towards that Villa. Oregon has gone for BDS.
Surely not.
I'm thinking Cafe out of what we've got left here.
Villa's going to go. Like,
Yeah.
BDS do not
BDS
play
don't
Villa.
play
That is going to
Villa.
get taken out. Oh, no.
Oh, my.
Oh, no, boys.
We're going to Coastline. I'm telling you now.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, you just knew it was coming as soon as you saw Villa was one of those final three, and knowing the BDS have permabanned that map since its first inception, even before the game came to be. They said if ever there's a map called Villa in a game, it is getting insta-banned away. There's just something about that goddamn name. Coastline is going to be where this one shakes down. I can't think of a time I've seen a big game from BDS on this map, to be honest with you, Jackie, but for the side of Team 1, something we've seen a bit more regularly. Any fond memories of them on this map?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to see Alamau living his movie on this map. Coastline is going to quickly become closed-lined because that is how BDS are going to feel once we get into this one. I'm confident with that, Des, that my prediction's a little bit safer. If there was going to be an upset, this would be the map for it.
What are you saying, Tim, as well? You think the same sort of story? BDS made a mistake by going here, Team 1 got it right, or is it the reverse to you?
I don't think it's going to be a mistake for BDS, if I'm honest. Like I say, Team 1, they're a good team. They've got a lot of ability, but they've been beaten up over the last couple of days. They've struggled for results. They're languishing down at the bottom of the group, and I just feel like BDS, they're riding high. They've got gunners. They really do. They've got them in absolute stacks, and I think it's going to be a tough one for Team 1 to break them down on Coastline.
No, you're speaking about stacks, mate. The only thing that is really stacked here outside of the teams is the fact that it's you two bringing an incredible game of Coastline to us. I'll leave this one to you boys. BDS and Team 1 on Coastline. Jackie and Ace, this one's all yours.
Oh, Tim, we're back. We're finally back together.
Back in action.
Mate, I might have left you for a different game and a Canadian man, but I'll always come back when they say there's a LATAM team, Coastline, and Tim will be there.
What can you do? I believe, Jackie, I believe, and she's going to be very happy after the last couple of days. Just for the sake of authenticity, we've even got Jenna in the stream as far as I'm aware.
Oh, it's a BR6 family reunion. Everyone's here. We got Simon and Reese on production. Jacob's lurking somewhere on replays. The whole family is back, and what a reunion to start it off with. Coastline, BDS and Team 1. Tim, I'm buzzing.
It doesn't get any more legitimate than this. All we need now is an absolute classic inside of Coastline. I want to see these two teams duke it out. I want to see an absolute brawl, Jackie. I want to see them wailing on each other and taking it the absolute distance.
Boy, oh boy. I can't wait. I've already got words floating through my head, references for Alamau, things I'm going to be dropping once this game gets popping. Band Faith coming out first, though, of course. Thatcher the Smasher to the wayside. I never get to see him, Tim. Never again.
You won't, Jackie. Flores is going to go as well. Team 1 banning that out. Not too much of a surprise. BDS have used Flores extremely well through Stage 2. Alems said in an interview with us that he thought Flores was currently the most powerful operator in the game. Extremely flexible, good weapon, and it was something that they've been using to great effect. It was Alems himself who'd been using him. So Flores is going to be out. Moze goes as well. So a little bit of targeting, I think, going on there from Team 1. Valkyrie comes in from BDS. Pretty stock bans coming in on their side, but that is the picture as it stands. Thatcher, Flores, Moze, Valkyrie all gone. Only one thing left to do, Jackie, and that's for these two to start killing each other.
Oh, yes. Here we are. Roll up, roll up. Let's get ready to ramble, Tim. BDS Team 1 on Coastline. The picks are coming in. And I tell you what, I can't wait to blow the top off with this one. Capital pick as well for Alamau. It's all coming back to me, Tim.
Oh, it's absolutely rattling back. Coming screaming in. You say that's going to be a big pick. It looks like he's going to pick away, though. We'll see who he's going to bring instead of the Capitaine. Actually switching onto the Twitch. Alamau with the F2 is certainly a scary prospect. We've just seen what Nesk did with the weapon. We will see if Alamau can improve on that at all. The first defensive site for BDS then is going to be Hooker and Billiards. We've got a pretty standard lineup. We've got the Malusia, but as far out there as it gets is Alems on the Vigil. But we saw Sexy Kate putting Vigil to great use in the last round as well when Liquid were on defense. So we'll see if Alems can emulate that success.
God, I haven't seen some high-tier visual roaming in a while as well. Honestly, it feels like back when we were doing the BR6 and you'd see some of the crazy plays that would come out. That'll actually be pretty fun. As a game to dip my toes into more of the EU teams, Tim, I've done very well. The Na'Vi game was fun. Now we get this. It's all just going to be paved with gold.
Oh, this is honestly, you're going to see skill levels off the absolute charts here. I'm interested in what Shaiko's doing. He's down in main lobby at the minute, and there's a number of players pushing in towards him. He takes initial shots out of the door and takes an absolute chunk off of Levy. He doesn't even need to be able to see them, Jackie. He just knows. He sees them coming in. He gets the read on where that spawn is going to be. You can tell from default cams going down. There's all this information being fed in, and bang, he just takes that little pre-play shot out of there and just takes a bit of chip damage with him.
It's that Daredevil. Doesn't need the vision. Just rocks up and gets the job done anyway. So that chip damage could come back to haunt them towards the late round. Right now, though, it is still very early doors. BDS, good angle set up. Not too much pressure applied from Team 1. Still just taking it slow and steady.
1 minute into the round, Levy's certainly slowed down here. We've not had any of those EE1D scans from the Lion to freeze everybody in place yet. Alems has taken some damage, so that's a bit of chip on either side. We'll see which team comes away with a chip on their shoulder after this round and taking the loss, because there can only be one winner. Of course, Ranshiro, he's got himself inside a Sunrise at the minute, and BDS, they're pretty well spread out here. Usually you'll see a BDS side that are pretty site-centric, I think, is a way of putting it. They quite often like to bunker down. They don't tend to play too far of a roam game away from site, quite objective focus. But here they're happy to get a few off and away from site. Shaiko's still down inside of Kitchen, and something that Team 1 need to be aware of. But we can see them trickling back in now. Shaiko moves his way through the rotation. Alems is trying to use the drone hole there to get a view onto the VIP door, but no joy yet. 5 versus 5. Both teams taking this cautiously.
Final 60 seconds then. No blood spilt. Let's see if that will change in a matter of seconds. Ruckus being made. Shaiko firing out shots, but none of them taking down their targets. KDS with 1. Unfortunately, there will be a trade back, but it's looking good. The second frag found. Shaiko left to try and pick up the pieces, mows them down with the MP5, and leaves us in a 2v2, Tim.
Breeders down, but Shaiko finds one onto Lagonis and a second, and we see the quality of Shaiko there as he gets one, flips it 90 degrees onto the hooker door and rips the head off Alamo as he moves through on the Twitch, and he's going to shut it down for BDS, who take round number 1. Team 1, their wars continue, but there's still a long way to go in this one.
It looked like a nice start. Well, I suppose that really does hammer home the point that Shaiko is just on another level, right? Opens up the round with a nice tag, put the fear into him, and then really unleashes. Looking like the harbinger of death there at the end of the round as he just tidies up everyone. One foul swoosh with that scythe. That was all it took.
Certainly was. Now, I've been watching on social media, and I believe we've got Alamo in the server now, and he's a bit of a ping-pong all-star by the sounds of it, Jackie. Ever played a little bit of table tennis? Ever tickled the table tennis?
I've tried. I've dabbled. I've been to multiple different beer pong locations. That is kind of similar. There's no paddles.
Kind of similar. Considerably different, but similar at the same time. Yeah, I believe Alamo's been taking some names on the old ping pong table.
Oh, really? Is he starting to build himself up quite the hit list?
Seems to be building a little bit of a reputation at the hotel. It's a shame that we didn't make it. I might have liked to chance my arm against him.
I could imagine.
Maybe a matchup we could set up for future.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. You kicking back out by the beach, just hitting those ping pong balls, your hair blowing in the wind. It'd be impressive.
Ponytail flowing.
Yeah, you'd have to watch out you don't accidentally hit someone with it.
I don't want it whipping me in the eye and losing me a point, Jackie. I don't need any excuses for losing to Alamo at table tennis. And BDS aren't going to be looking for any excuses should they lose here. But Alamo not finding himself any kills in the first round. Team 1 going to be looking for a bit more, of course, from him as the game goes on. We're going to be defending kitchen and service this time around for Team BDS. And again, only one man on site. And I like what I'm seeing from BDS. Happy to get out in the map, take those gunfights. Got a man holding down Theatre. Volcan Shield to help him stay in place. Shaiko just playing again in and around sites, those areas that he likes. It's sort of I quite often refer to it as like the semi-roam. He's close to sight, he's there to make an impact, but he just holds himself outside of it, and that really is his wheelhouse for operations.
Ooh, all right. Issue
There we go.
The tenacious defense not going to work out the way he wanted it to. Previous round, yeah, 4 frags absolutely slaughters them. This time, he's left looking like a shish kebab. The opening kill picked up by Team 1. And this puts them into a good position. Minute and 45 to work with. Already a 5 versus 4. Looking good.
It's not a bad start for Team 1. What they need to do now is double down. They need to take advantage of this. They need to find the dividends. And just as I'm saying that, KDS comes in and delivers with a kill onto Brede, but it's Renshiro, it's Alems. There's so many names on the side. A BDS capable of getting kills. Jackie Rafal, that's 1 apiece for the remainders. Lagone signs 1 onto Alems, though. It's now all down to Rafal. 1 versus 2. He's more than capable of this. Vector in hand on the Goyo, but Lagonis doing what he does best, getting in there on the Hibana and getting the diffuser down. Alemo manages, I don't know why I said that weird, Alaman finds the kill through the foot peak hole that has been opened up in the kitchen wall, closes it down from the main reception. He's taking names, he's taking bookings, and he books this one out as he levels things up 1-1 on the scoreboard.
Oh, makes himself famous with that famous, a beautiful plate to bring us to 1-1. Now, this is looking more like a LATAM team on Coastline, right? All of a sudden, just carnage erupts. Everyone locked in gunfights, multiple frags, it's all popping off. And when the dust settles, it's just down to Alamau to dispatch the final member. Big round, takes us 1-1. I'm really hoping that we get quite a close game out of this. No matter what happens, Tim, as long as we get a lengthy game, I think we're really going to see some pedigree siege from the both of these teams.
Oh, that's what we want. That's what everybody wants. We just want to see it go back and forward. That is at the top and bottom of it. We just want to see this as be a challenge all the way to the end. We don't want anybody running away with it. The thing is, I think that's what this group needs, because BDS are running away with the group. Talking of running away, they are unstoppable at the minute, and the scores seem to be becoming more and more landslide as they go on. So it's time that somebody challenged them, Jackie. It's time that somebody gave them something to think about heading into day 3.
What would they be thinking about, Tim? You know, maybe the fact that moths have scales. Would that be the full
I think
process?
everybody's still thinking about that, Jackie.
It is a crazy fact, right? Because obviously, you know, your whole life you're just thinking, God, these moths are just so dusty.
It's just dust everywhere.
That's why they just like, come on. Honestly, if I was a moth, I wouldn't be that dusty.
Just need to get the old duster out and just have a look round.
Yeah, give it a quick dust down. Let's see if there'll be some dusting down done from Team 1 into this round then. Early contact, not looking too good for the Vigil. Got to bail out and keep himself vigilant as bullets are whizzing by his ear holes.
Almost gets himself cleaned up in the penthouse, Jackie, I think it's fair to say. But, as you say, manages to just duck and dive, dip, dodge, and keep himself away from those bullets and fighting for another day. There comes the nade, and once again, Alems, he's proving that he belongs in the kitchen. He is non-stick coated here. Nothing is able to adhere to the man. He needs to get himself away. He does so. Rebarricades into office. He's moving around the Vigil, just doing what he does best, being slippery, keeping himself from being nailed down.
Did you know, Tim? Common misconception that people think snakes are slimy, when in fact they're just scaly.
I've actually held a I've held a snake. Yeah,
have you seen? You know what's fun with snakes is obviously like they can pull themselves up vertically. So you could have like a snake on your finger, and it could just rise into the air with nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, I think they're very muscular, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They hit the gym a lot.
Like 90% muscle. Like you.
Snake weights. Imagine that. It's like a shake weight. Oh, KDS. He's unfortunately not been able to shake himself out of that one. C4 beneath his feet. Now he looks like a human. Snake, everyone else getting snaked out, though, on the side of Team 1. Neskin, the only one that tries to recover the round, shoots down to silence Shaiko. Left into a 2 versus 4 with a final minute to play.
Levy sends in the EE1D just to try and stem the flow of bleeding there as BDS found one kill after another. It was a perfect time for Neskin to get one just to try and apply the brakes, but it's not going to be an easy push now in a 2 versus 4. BDS likely to sit back and hold their angles. They've got vertical pressure, but Levy, he puts the pressure onto Renshiro as he finds a kill. 3 versus 2, and the challenge starts to come back from Team 1. 38 seconds, so they've certainly got time to do it. They've got the diffuser in hand now. That's been collected. Neskin and Levy working together here. They're actually going to separate as I say that. Neskin's going to head down the Cool Vibes stairs. If they can find another pick here and go 2 versus 2, they might not be looking too bad, but that clock is becoming an issue.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Time really is getting ticked away. And the issue is, so is the manpower. Battle of attrition clearly favouring BDS. A filthy angle in play here from Neskin, but he's just outnumbered. Paranoid about the peek from Blue Bar, will spam on the face, but in the end, he's the one that gets overthrown. Drop down, sleeping on the stairwell, looking like Harry Potter.
Going to lock down Sunrise there, and that is going to be another round for BDS. I believe there's going to be a slight pause while we just deal with a bit of a technical issue inside of the server, so we'll get you back into that as soon as possible. For the time being, we'll have a look at our lovely players, and we'll just have a little chat about what we've seen so far. So 2-1 to BDS. It's been back and forward so far. Team 1 keep in touch with them at the minute, but BDS's last round reasonably convincing.
Yeah, pretty clean, right? That time around, obviously looking far more built in terms of the stature, just able to take them down, dismantle Team 1. It would have needed to be in a miraculous clutch to give them the edge, but at the very least, they've got 1 round in the bag so far on their attacking side on Coastline. Have we seen much of a shift, Tim, in terms of the balance of Coastline? Though obviously, it's been a while since me and you were back with the BR6. I wonder, just from a map standpoint, what we're looking at now.
Not really. Very much the same. We'd still expect to see it. Is one of the few maps that we tend to see a little bit of an attacker advantage, but it's not huge like any of them. And like I used to say, you know, you're generally talking about 55% to 45%. It's not generally sort of too drastic, but yep, Coastline does still tend to favour the attackers a little bit, and that is where the potential problem is going to come in for Team 1 here if they find themselves behind at the half.
See if that will become an issue. Just getting a issue resolved here, and then we will be back in with the action. Oh, Tim, it's so good to actually have players back on LAN as well. I forgot the blessing of watching the player cam, seeing everyone hustling and bustling. It just doesn't feel real, does it?
No, it's a big thing, you know, as we head back in towards being able to, you know, slowly but surely do things, you know, safely and get everybody there and get it done in person. Things like being casting back in the studio is just, it's night and day different. It's difficult to describe why sometimes, but, you know, these casts from home, as great as they've been to keep us ticking over, you just don't have that same sort of energy where everybody's in person. As you say, you can see the buzz there. You've got Chubbs just pacing up and down behind, and just everything's going on. It's the hustle and bustle of that LAN environment. It's fantastic, and it's good to see that we're slowly moving back in the right direction and getting back to it.
Man like Chubbs as well. It's so good seeing all the boys here, Tim. So many of the LATAM players.
Well, a lot of people won't know that he came from Furia. A lot of people probably won't know that.
That's crazy, right? That's why I was thinking, obviously, you know, when we had Twister and you're looking at everyone, it's like, there's some names missing. I know I was away for a little while, but it's sick to see where everyone's fallen into.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you know, Chubbs was sort of assistant coach of Furia alongside Twister. They both did the job there, and Chubbs has moved over to Team 1. Twister then stepping up and taking on the role solely over for Furia, and I tell you what, they're both doing very well. Look at them, you know, here they are at Majors. Everything they were doing was with the right attitude, the right mentality, and they're pushing forward now. Pushing forward is going to be BDS, hopefully for them in this round. They're going to be round 4 now, defending Hooker and Billiards once again. Same site as we saw back in round 1 that they were able to successfully hold on to. Now, how about this? We've got the Malusit of Shaiko looking to get aggressive. We saw him on the main entrance last time, but Neskin very aware that that window's been shot out. It looks like Shaiko's just going to dip himself away. There is a... Is it? No, it's not. I thought that there was a laser gate just played on that window, but it's not. There's just actually a little wooden decorative panel down that you could just see through the window there that gave the same effect.
Those pesky decorative panels.
Oh, nightmare.
Always getting in the way,
They've had the
aren't
landscapers in. They're throwing things in that look like laser gates. There you go. You can see what I mean. It just positions perfectly with the window sometimes and looks like it's bars down across the window.
That's outrageous. You come home one day, all of a sudden someone's just fitted a laser gate. You've asked for a baby gate. You're like, what's happened here? This isn't safe.
I mean, it may well do the same job, but it's not going to do it in a safe manner, Jackie, and you don't want to be approaching that too quickly, just like Team 1 don't seem to want to approach this building too quickly. They're taking things cautiously, carefully, trying to move that Twitch drone in, but the mute jammer is just in position, and Alems, he's doubling down on this. He's absolutely having none of it. The shots come in. They will just miss his tippy toes, though.
Right there. Forced off the angle. The Jaeger will reposition, but let's see if the Hunt Master will be able to hold his sight. Drones coming in, the rise of the automatons as Team 1 keep applying pressure towards the B site. Walls being blown off as well, and you can see the paranoia for BDS starting to reposition. Shaiko, he was roaming aggressively, now he started to group back up and support the rest of the team close towards site.
KDS is going to be down but not out. He's going to be down and out as Rafal manages to move in and just secure that kill. BDS opening things up once again. Alems doubling down. This is something that BDS have done very well so far, Jackie. They've been able to follow up kills with subsequent kills. They've not allowed Team 1 to get the trades and fight their way back into it. Now, Levy just going to take out the Vars, have a look, see if he can get a line of sight down onto anybody, would he? You won't be able to find the cranium that is hiding just behind the pottery. Now then, Neskin, he's got a nice angle. He's opened up the wall from VIP. He's going to be able to look through the long angle into sight. But again, there's no joy. BDS just doing a very good job of keeping themselves out of the line of sight of Team 1.
Big glaring issue is as well, BDS have a 6th man on the server, and that is going to be the timer. 24 seconds left on the clock. Second by second, this gets harder for Team 1, especially when they're losing players like that. All on Neskin, the sledge, trying to hit them hard with the hammer, but the SMG won't be able to leave them slumped down on the ground. Instead, it'll be Shaiko with backup to close it down and get another round for the defense.
Levy and Neskin finding themselves the last ones alive against 3, 4, 5 members of BDS. Far too often here for comfort for Team 1. And BDS are starting to stretch the legs. They put in some distance between the two teams here. And they're going to be making it very difficult for Team 1 to be able to get in and have any sort of impact on this game. I don't know what it is with Team 1. They were 2nd overall in Stage 2 of the BR6 in terms of points accumulated through that stage. And they had great performances. They just haven't been able to deliver the same on LAN here. We've got to remember it's a pretty new roster, Jackie. They need time to gel. They need time to gain this LAN experience, and it really is perfect environment for them. But there comes a point where they need to start getting those wins as well.
No, absolutely right. At a certain point, you start looking at the scoreboard. You're sat there realizing that kills are no longer the commodity, the rounds are, and that's when you really have to face the facts. Already 3 of them in the bank for BDS. It's a good buffer. If they get themselves some more towards the end of this half, that's where I think it could be a little bit too much of a task for Team 1. They've still got an opportunity, though. The weird thing is, Tim, it looks like compared to what we normally saw out of Team 1, that they've kind of put the claws away a little bit. Not as ferocious, right? You're seeing very calculated team play into the late round, nice executes, but that sort of raw aggression we used to see from them isn't really there. They're showing far too much respect to BDS.
I'd have to agree. I think you're right, and maybe that's been the problem for them throughout the tournament, not putting enough faith in just getting in there, getting aggressive and getting those opening kills, and trying to play maybe too much of a strategic game, maybe overthinking it a little bit at times. But the thing is, BDS's confidence is growing now. Rafal, he's had a couple of opening kills so far, and he's looking to get aggressive again, takes the peek out of the window, won't find anybody, but it's just about that fear for Team 1. It's about letting them know that there's no safe approach into the building here. They're going to be attacking this time onto kitchen and service, but they've got a man in theatre to deal with first. It's the Jaeger of Rafal who's playing inside of there. He's got support from the alibi of Alems as well, so it's not going to be an easy job for Team 1 to get established upstairs. They've got a sledge on the on Neskin, so they will be looking for those vertical angles, I would expect.
Let's see if the Hurty Verties will be coming out. 2 minutes left on the clock here. Team 1 still keeping their distance. We've seen very late executes from them. That's what they've been gravitating towards. I want to see something a little bit more aggro. Start to do more of a firework impression and send some sparks flying. Could see early contact here as well. Angle being watched just through the laser gates. You can see the peak coming around. Could lose his face, Tim. Bit of damage as well. As the Lems drop down to about 50 HP there.
Yeah, he's going to continue challenging. In comes the nade. He's going to have to dip away, surely. But no, KDS manages to find one. Can he push on to Rafal and find a second? It's a tasty little treat for Neskin, who manages to get him and maybe pick up a chocolate off the pillow on his way past. He is absolutely devouring BDS there as they push in and just clear out Penthouse and Theatre that quickly. Breedy, he knows that there's a man above him. As it opens up, he's waiting with the shotgun. He takes the shots, doesn't do enough damage. Neskin does take a face full of shot, but it's not going to be enough to put him down.
Oh, the pumped Punisher. He's trying to make it work. The buckshot is flying, but the slugs just aren't stunning them. 60 seconds left now. 5 on 3. The best position we've seen from Team 1 for quite some time. Can they just get the final pieces? Breedy spammed down upon, stuck in the lower levels. Neskin fully committing to find the frag now. Wants to send him off to sleep with the SMG, but can't slap him up. He's chasing ghosts, Tim. Alamau, he's finding frags. Shaiko, silenced. There's another one gone. The Famous, just ferocious. Neskin finally makes the play work. And not only do they get the round, they do it with style.
Not something that BDS will really want to see isn't Alamau's name starting to pop up in that kill feed, because when that happens, it can signal danger. We've seen big games from him, and it feels like we're just waiting. He's like a volcano waiting to erupt, Jackie.
He is. He's like a Norwegian volcano as well, so there's a chance that he could actually go off. It's one of those where you're sat there going, I don't know if I feel comfortable. He's bubbling. He's smoking. Is this legal?
I mean, I feel like he's potentially got the power of something like a super volcano. You know, we might just be talking a bit of Yellowstone here.
Oh my. Could you imagine? The land would be gone, Tim.
It would. Did you know that Yellowstone National Park is a big super volcano?
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? You know, all the volcanoes in the world, it's quite a lot of them.
There's quite a few.
There's quite a few, yeah. I didn't really have anything to go on with that one, but there you go. Volcano facts. What's your favourite volcano, Tim?
I'm a fan of Vesuvius.
What did you just call me? There you go. That's what it's come down to. Yeah, they're back on Coastline. Oh, did you see the Tim and Jackie reunion? Yeah, it's just volcanoes.
Yeah, they had a good chat about volcanoes and which was the favourite. Touched on Yellowstone super volcano. Right, are either of these teams going to go off like a super volcano? That is the question. Team BDS, they've had a good couple of rounds, but Team 1 managed to just really rein them in a little bit in round 5. Get a win on the attack, and they really do need to be coming away with this one. Keep it level. 3-3 at the half would be absolutely perfect for Team 1, and I feel like they might just think it's a bit of a steal, Jackie. It's a little bit of a snatch and grab after what we've seen so far.
Man, if they're going to get into it, they need to start looking like they're ram raiding a supermarket. I want them coming in, brick on the pedal, smashing out the windows, and just taking whatever they want. The Mars bars, anything. Alamau, 3 frags to his name. 3 of them were in the last round. That was where he finally made his mark. If he can do that again now and look a lot more like the man we were expecting to see, that's where they'll start to get into the game. That's where they're going to start to build themselves a bit of a buffer to work with. It's the last round on attack for them. Is there anything special left underneath the hood? Any tricks we haven't seen? That's the big question.
Well, we've got 4 nades on the side of Team 1, KDS, and Neskin bringing those along. So I'd like to see some use of those. I'd like to see some successful use just to, again, get those free kills. Don't put yourself in a position where Team BDS are able to challenge you in the gunfights, because they are so capable. Now, in goes the Gon 6 at long range there, just looking to try and remove some utility. I believe that Breedy is still going to have a shield to play behind, so I'm not sure if that's what they were looking to clear out specifically, or if there was something else that they were targeting, but either way, it won't be successful, and Breedy, he's able to keep himself bunkered down behind the bar, but the push starts to come in, and there's the nade that I was talking about, but somehow, how does that happen? Breedy just avoids it. I don't know what his movement is like there, but doesn't take any damage.
He has been blessed. There is someone watching over that man. His response, of course, is to dash out the smoke can, block off the entrance, and buy himself a bit of time. Does take a bullet to the back, but it won't put him down on his last legs. Shaiko on the rotate, though, caught out by the nade. That's a bit of shrapnel in the fight, Tim.
I don't think it was necessarily aimed for him, but it was just poor timing and unlucky for him that he had to dip away from the challenge that he was going to make. Out goes another Toxic Babe canister. Here comes the challenge, but Brede, he is alert to the danger, knows it might come, can't switch to the shotty in time. Gets put down by Neskin, 4 versus 3. Kills raining in on either side. It's difficult to keep count, but it leaves us 2 versus 2. There goes Renshiro, so solid inside a sight so often. Neskin, low health and looking to make the challenge, looking to make something happen in the last 13 seconds. He has diffuser, but he won't get the opportunity to put it down, as it's that man again from the bottom of Cool Vibes. He's bringing the vibes into the server for BDS. It's Shaiko to shut it down. 4-2 on the defense they go, and they're going to swap sides onto the attack now.
Shaiko was looking like the bouncer, Tim. He saw him up on the bar and he was like, "Oi, what are you doing? Get your feet off the bar." He's grabbed him by the scruff
I've just had
of the
that
neck.
put in.
Hey, come on, mate. Have you not seen his new marble? Very expensive. It's caused an uprising in the bar, Tim. Everyone's angry. There's bottles flying everywhere. The floors have gotten sticky.
I mean, to be fair, Jackie, most of the bars I've been in, the floors are already sticky when I've walked through the door, but, you know, there you go.
That's how you know it's a good bar, you know. If you're having a good enough time that you're spilling your drinks all over the floor, it's probably a good one.
Well, right now it was certainly difficult inside of the bar there for the drinks to be kept in any one place, because it was absolute chaos. It was like one of those big punch-ups, Jackie, that you see in a western scene where there's just glasses flying everywhere, there's gunshots, it's all going down, there's a man getting thrown through the shutters on the windows. It just all went off in those last 20 seconds.
It did. It erupted. And it looked damn exciting. We've seen 2 of those rounds now where things just turn into high-flying chaos and the pots and pans are thrown out of the kitchen and straight into the faces of Team 1. Still then, round 7. It's a 4-2 split. BDS leading at the minute. Now on their attack as well. We'll see if the pace of the game starts to change and if Team 1 can mount an effective defense, or if it's going to be a similar situation. I was curious if we actually were going to see an aggressive peak come out from Team 1 as well, Tim. It was something that they were pretty game and pretty up for doing in the past, but Alamau this time not looking to run any risks, keeping it quiet.
Absolutely not. We've got the man there, KDS, just laid prone on the floor, looking to see if he can catch anybody out through the drone hole. If I had to pick a drone hole in the entire game that sees more kills than any other, it would have to be that one. There we go. I couldn't have timed it better, Jackie. Leading straight into a headshot onto Brede through the drone hole. KDS gets his man, takes down a drone. Maybe time to dip himself away from this position and live to fight another day, but he seems intent on challenging. But no, he's dipped himself away. He's going to go into blue bar. Can he get himself a bit more joy right now? He's behind the bar in Sunrise. A good start for Team 1.
KDS doing its KD best to start off this round nicely for Team 1. It's a good edge to find. Already being able to put Brede into a coffin. The response from BDS now is going to have to be far, far stronger. Up towards elevated angle. A couple of peaks coming in here and there, but nothing really to write home about.
Alamau just holding down those Cool Vibes stairs for the time being, and we can see Team 1 here pretty immobile, really. 3 of the players not really getting in and around the map, just happy to hold their angles and let BDS play into them. The problem that you get with that is the amount of time that you're giving them, and it's also the fact that players like KDS, who are out on the roam, are out there on their own, and they can be pinched, they can be found in crossfires, but it doesn't matter if KDS is just going to step out and get aggro onto the door. He's going to take the quick peek, and he's going to take the head off Renshiro. Lems is coming in. He doesn't know exactly where the man is hiding. He knows he's in the pool entrance, but he doesn't know which corner. Shaiko, he finds him with a heat-seeking grenade there as he sends it right into his face and gets the kill. 4 versus 3 as BDS fight back, but they've still got to deal with Alamau and Levy up at the top of these Cool Vibe stairs.
Bait play coming around the smoke can, drop down. Levy holding close towards the stairs. He'll be staring death in the face, quite literally. Alamau, though, he is dead. Shut down by LMs. Bringing us back into a raw 3-on-3. 30 seconds to work with. Diffuser going to be dropped over as well. They still have to make their move into the site. Lagunis up close and personal. A big pop-a pump. Can this man leave BDS in a slump?
Eskin holding a real long angle there from the VIP corridor through onto the double window. Lagonis manages to put that shotgun to use, finds the kill onto Shaiko. 3 versus 2, 9 seconds left to go. BDS no choice but to get this diffuser down. This could be vital, and there is the down with the nitro. Rafal has no choice but to repel in. Time ticks away, the sand runs through the hourglass. It waits for no man, Jackie, and that is the end of the round for BDS. Team 1 lock it down. BDS look like they might just do that at the mid-round when they fought their way back to 3 versus 3. They're certainly showing a lot of resolve here when they find themselves down in terms of the man count, but unable to secure the round in round 7. Team 1 just keeping in touch. They're clinging on to the coattails of BDS here.
You can't count either of these two sides out at the minute. It feels like even if they're down by 2 men, they've still got that fight in them to get back into the game. 4-3 split so far, looking pretty good. Quality affair from what we've seen, not too many mistakes. Good nade play as well into that prior round. Team 1, Tim, it feels like they've got it going. But the issue is, Alamau certainly isn't. He's still on 3 kills. All of those were back in the first half. It was one of the only rounds that we saw Team 1 look really effective in. He's been silenced. You know, he was the player we were really hyping up, and I was excited to see, because he is normally an absolute mad fragger.
He is, but just struggling to put the numbers down here, and you just feel, like I said, there's only 1 round in it. If it's not necessarily all down to Olemo, don't necessarily want to just put it onto 1 player, but if anybody here on side of Team 1 could step up and get those extra 3-4 kills over a couple of rounds, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's where they pull level and they can just find that confidence boost that they need to really start pushing them forward. The thing is, Jackie, not one of these rounds is going to be easy. Even if you get the opening kill, even if you get the opening 2 kills, BDS is still going to make your life a misery. Give them an opportunity and they will shut a round down in mere seconds. So Team 1, they're not going to have anything handed to them on a plate here.
Unless that plate is full of bullets, Tim, in which case they probably will.
I mean, I'd probably be asking for the manager at that point. I'd be wanting to have a discussion about the safety in that restaurant.
At least just a question mark, because the issue is obviously they'd have to be undercooked, because if you cook them, they blow up.
Unless it's like a sushi situation.
Just a single bullet for me, please. I'm on a diet. Oh, is that a 50 cal? I'm alright, I'll have to miss that one. Ooh, not missing one though is what Levy's up to with the AUG. Hits the first shot, downs Renshiro, and puts BDS into a slightly worse position. First frag going the way of the defense, then into round 8.
And another good start for Team 1. It certainly seems like we're seeing Coastline just play out a little bit defensively here, which can be a bit unusual. Levy's going to get drawn out. They know exactly where he is, but he's got the reinforcements. He's got the deployable shield to try and keep him in place. He doesn't know that the man's on the far side of the table, though. And that is a great shot from Elems, just moving past that billiard table, finding himself a nice pocket there along the way with a kill to just level things up. That's Levy down on the Wamai, 4 versus 4. And Rafal, he doubles down with a headshot onto KDS, and that is cross map and from level to level, from the top floor to the bottom. They are starting to apply the pressure.
Man, wow, his face was in the monitor. He smelt him before he saw him at that point. Pixel sniffing with a disgusting shot. And Shaiko wanting to shut them down himself as well. Lurking towards the stairwell, but the push won't come to the shove. He'll back off, reposition towards the site, and link up with the rest of the team. Team 1 really shaken to their core now. Just Ness, Lagunis, and Alamau left alive. They need a big round to come out from Alamau. He's got to be the star player in my mind. Issue is his teammates are already being popped into a coffin. Lagonis setting Brede up on a date with the coroner as the SMG goes sublime, shuts down another one, and brings us back into a 2 versus 3. 40 seconds, Tim.
Lagonis in a tough spot there, has to relocate underneath the window. That opens up the default plant spot for BDS. It's all down to Alemo and Lagonis, but both are low health here. That's a great kill though on the sunrise window. Can he get a second? Lagonis going big, Alemo joining the party, and somehow they manage to close out a tough 2v3 inside a sunrise. And what a performance that was in round number 8 from Team 1.
Oh, Lagonis starting to look more like the big Loch Ness monster that we know he's inspired by. He keeps that little plushie on his desk, Tim. We saw it. He told us that's where his name comes from. And right now, we're seeing the sea monster start to get unleashed. 4-4, BDS, Team 1, all tied up as we go into the 9th.
I remember how excited Lagonis was when he told us about that, because we commented on it we commented on he genuinely has got a Loch Ness monster like plushie on top of his computer in his home setup, and we commented on it after an interview, and then we interviewed him again the following week, and he was like, oh, you mentioned a lot, and he like told us all about that. It was that's where his name had come from, and yeah, it was a fascinating little chat, and it's just that gives you an idea of Lagonis' personality. He's just like such a chill, such a nice guy, and he's just really excitable and friendly, and it's always good fun.
He's a good lad. He really is. 5 frags to his name at the minute here for the side of Team 1. Hopefully, it will be less Nessie and more messy from Team 1. We want to see him getting gory like a Quentin Tarantino movie. For BDS, we'll see if a similar situation will occur. Obviously suffered in the opening bout last time around, lost the first frag, and it's clearly done some damage to them. Will things be different here?
We're going to set up the shield inside a service there. That is going to be the location that Team 1 are defending, kitchen and service. First time, actually, looking back through, that they've actually got 2 rounds in a row there. Round 7 and round 8. Switching to the defence has certainly done them some favours. They've levelled things up. And we sort of start again in some ways. It now becomes the first one to get themselves over the line, but with fewer rounds to do it. It's 4 versus 4 on the scoreboard at the minute. And Team BDS, they need to find a way to get their mojo back. They need to get the momentum, the wind back beneath their wings here, because being clipped right now and not flying as high as they were previously.
That's not what you want. Like a paper plane made out of cardboard, it's just going straight down. Ooh, some damage could be going down here as well. It felt like there was going to be a swing out onto LMs. He is just holding back over the rafters. Timing's everything as well. Chucks out the drone. It seemed like we were going to see aggression onto him, but couldn't quite catch him from the angle. He'll stay alive. The response instead is to pop at the feet of Alamau. Shooting feet.
LM's knowing that there was a goo mine on the way in, takes one out, but misses the second. He's just going to trigger that and let them know that he's gone into office. He won't have taken any damage. The initial damage on sort of sting, if you will, has been removed now. So as long as you take that needle out quickly enough, you don't actually suffer any HP damage. It does prevent you from running for the period of time, and it does, of course, let the lesion know. Now, Elena is probably going to hold that corner for the longest time. He's going to hope that somebody comes through and triggers that goo mine that's inside of security, and if they do, he's just going to swing through there. But right now, there's absolutely no push or attention coming in that direction. So he's still not in the worst place. He's quite happy to stay there because he's inside a main reception, and it's a good place for him to be. He can challenge onto the man in courtyard. He can challenge across the angle from the double door through the rotations that will have been opened up in the kitchen wall. So not the end of the world, but I'm not sure if he's aware of the man in courtyard, and that could be a problem.
Ooh. That's rough. No connection there from LMs, but it won't matter as Renshiro does more than enough. Runs rampant. Unloads to gun down 2. Both Levy and Alamau. Big players taken out for Team 1. Bride now in the site. Whips open the diffuser and tries to get that bad boy planted. Nice use of the smoke from Lagonis. Issue is, he's losing so many members of his team. It's just down to him. It would have to be a 1v5, an ace to clutch it out. And I feel like this only a matter of time before this smoke gets smoked. Wants to go on the swing round from the doorway. Eventually goes for the peek out. Treacherous stuff. He's got to keep himself low to the ground. Tries to find the flank. Shots onto the back of Shaiko, but Shaiko, oh, he goes low. Hits the headshot and cleans that one up.
Nice flawless round for BDS there, and it was all down to Renshiro just opening things up from that main door, picking himself up a big double as Alemau tried to challenge onto him, and it just allowed Bride straight into sight, and that just gave you a real sort of window into the mind of Bride. As soon as that opportunity is there for him, as soon as there's a possibility, even the sniff of getting that diffuser down, you know that he's going to sprint on in and take the opportunity, and that's exactly what he did. It's the first time that he's really had that chance so far on the attack for BDS, and surprise, surprise, in it goes, down it goes, and the round is won.
Tim, with what we're looking at here then, 5-4 split, obviously Team 1 into that round just getting absolutely played, right? Probably the longest we've seen in terms of not finding an early opening frag. We're down to like a minute on the clock before BDS just found themselves a flurry of frags so quickly. The 2K into the follow-up kill just left them dismantled. Is there much more that we can see from Team 1? Because at this point, it felt like when they got onto defense that they had a second wind. Now I'm worried if they're out of breath again.
I mean, Team 1 have definitely been more competitive here than we've seen them so far in their previous games. They are now making a real challenge of this. As you say, have they got enough in the tank to be able to continue running this race with BDS? I'm not sure that they have. BDS feel like there's another gear there for them, Jackie. They feel like they can just turn this on a little bit. They can give them the old afterburners and just really pull away from them potentially.
Maybe some like hidden nitros. Have that in the back.
Just gonna, slap the red button, off they go.
Well, you must have experience with that in all the Fast and Furious movies you did, right?
Familiar with it?
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about it.
No, it's fair. It was a different lifetime now.
Different, I'm a siege caster now.
It's fair, yeah. After you change your name from Vin.
Yeah, obviously.
Vinny.
I mean, I kept it similar.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim. Just rearrange the letters.
Just kept it sort of similar, I wanted a similar sound.
You know what is fun, Tim? Have you ever heard of antigrams?
I've not.
So, like anagrams, like Tom Marvolo Riddle would be Lord Voldemort, right? And you can use all the letters to one spell another word. Antigrams are if you can do that, but it's an opposite of what the word meant. So if you take like customer service, you can rearrange all of those letters to spell store scum.
All right, I see what you're doing there. Okay, yeah. So you're then sort of going to for the antithesis. I like that.
Fun, right?
I like a good palindrome as well, Jackie.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm all about a good palindrome. I do really enjoy those.
The interesting thing is with antigrams is once you realize it's a concept, you start to realize how many of them there are, and it is quite interesting. Like United can be untied.
See, what I like about this, Jackie, is I can already sense that you're involved in some pretty serious, is it antigrams? Some pretty serious antigram forums and stuff. I can see that you are deep into this world.
Oh, yeah, me and all the regular antigrammers, Big Steve, Barry, Big Suze, the whole gang.
I mean, when you say you're doing it it's not doing it for the gram, it's doing it for the antigram.
True. It is indeed. Oh, Tim, here's a fun one for you. It looks like we might get some misfortune from this game, and out of that, you could make It's More Fun.
Who is it going to be more fun for? That's the question. Team 1, not many chances left at this one. Team BDS 1 round away from that match point and guaranteed overtime. They've got their first attacking win in round 9. Can they continue that momentum? They've not been great on the attack so far, although Team 1, one of their defences, we've got to say, it came down to a 2 versus 3. I'm not going to call it lucky. It was extremely well played by Lagonis and Olemo, but they had to get the kills, and they certainly did that, but BDS was still pushing them right to the end of the round. I feel like there are more attacking wins for BDS on the cards here, and that is going to make life difficult for Team 1.
Scary bit is that they are looking a little bit brittle. They need a little bit more milk. Get the calcium back, get those bones going, and start to lock it down on the defense. Pivotal round here for Team 1. You leave this, you leave yourself in utter peril. BDS will have a safety net of OT confirmed, and they'll also be licking their lips with the prospect of the full 3 points for a regulation win. Team 1 effectively need 2 on the trot to put themselves within a good shot of taking this one. Into the 10th now. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. Slow stuff.
Daiko moving himself into service there. Just going to be back on the drones. We had the first E1D scan coming in from Brede as well, and it's just supported Alems getting into the map alongside Shaiko. So BDS starting to move in numbers, but not finding anybody yet. As we can see, the entirety of Team 1 is up on that second floor, so the lower floor is going to be free territory for BDS. Neskin on the mezzanine of Cool Vibe stairs there. Just dips himself back up. Must be confident. Not too confident, as he did take a quick peek toward the rooftop there, but after having a quick scan, decides there's nobody there and will move across onto the penthouse and theatre side of things.
Oh, look at him coming in like an aggressive shark, wanted to take a nibble out of what he believes is a seal. Instead, it'll be the seal broken by Neskin. Comes down with a nice clean kill. Opens it up to put him into a 5 versus 4. Response needs to be big from BDS, and of course, it's the main man at the moment to turn up. Shaiko the stunner. It's another one. Takes down KDS. Neskin's getting jabbed in the mouth. He'll be putting that on the TripAdvisor review.
It's going to be getting marked down for that, isn't it? It's almost a guaranteed 1 star as he moves through security and gets shut down. 4 versus 4. We find ourselves with 53 seconds left to go. BDS, as much as they've had a good kill, they need to get things moving. They still haven't locked down the position of Neskin. He could cause them a problem. Rafal aware of where he is, but he manages to just dart across to safety, but not for long, as Rafal just gets him on the repeak. Neskin shut down. 4 versus 3. That needs to be the signal for BDS to get moving. Breeder unusually caught out of position there on the hooker deck by Alemo, and he manages to find the kill. 3 versus 2 as he gets a nitro as well. Alemo going big here.
Oh, Atomic Alamau going off like a bomb. Shaiko, the only one trying to stop their reign of terror, hits the first shot. Slowly advances forward, but his teammates are cascading down to the ground around him. 9 seconds on the clock. Diffuser miles away, but it won't matter. Bludgeon's the first. Issue is the flick back over. Lagonis locks it, and Team 1 get the round.
5-5, we find ourselves on the scoreboard, and once again, Team 1 somehow just clinging on to BDS. They just won't let them get that extra bit of distance that they need. It's 5-0. We're guaranteed 12. We could well go into overtime here, and this, for my money, is one of the best performances that we've seen out of the LATAM side, Team 1, so far at the Mexico Major. It's starting to get exciting. And just when it is, I thought we were going to see the clash play. I thought we were going to see a real roll of the dice there, but Alamo changes out at the last minute. He's going to pick over to the Echo, which could be a good pick. Maybe have a little bit of impact in the late round, bait BDS in. You know, if they're given an opportunity, they're going to try and put the diffuser down. So maybe give them that opportunity towards the late round and see if the Yokai can be the disruptive force that we know that it can.
Man. That C4 play from Alamau is one of those that you're going to be counting your blessings with for a while. Brings them back to a 5-5, puts them into a great spot here to keep the game going. Spooky bit is, Tim, now I see this, I'm thinking, all right, they're on defense. There is a potential possibility that we could be pushed to another OT game.
Yeah, another one on the Bravo stream, Jackie. We've seen plenty.
That's why we take them all.
We've seen plenty so far, and I can't complain. I absolutely love them when we get to that point, and both teams are just throwing absolutely everything in the kitchen sink at it. It's a wonderful thing to see for us sat at home, because it's just absolutely pure entertainment. Now then, Team 1 still setting up in the last sort of 15-20 seconds as they just try and get themselves ready for the onslaught that could be coming in their direction. BDS approaching from at least 2 directions at the minute. I think we do have some down to the southeast as well, coming in towards the sort of security and main door. Yep, we've got one on Aqua Balcony, one down towards main door as well. So we've got a real encirclement from BDS coming in here.
Swarming like vultures. But are they the ones that will be left stunned down on the ground like a corpse? Utility going in, giving themselves a little bit of more breathing room. They can slowly work their way forward. Neskin on the rotate as well. Sets himself up over by Cool Vibes, prone on the stairs, and ready to really do some damage if push comes to shove. They are droning it out, and it seems like they have spotted him as well, so he backs off from Cool Vibes.
We've got LMs moving in towards the Aqua there, just looking to get established. Neskin still down on Cool Vibes. All pretty tame so far in the first half. BDS not really been able to dislodge any of Team 1. BDS, he's going to dislodge LMs as he moves in. You've always got to be aware of the man underneath in office. There comes the Nitro kill from the Mutant. That's an absolute beaut as he takes the Zofia off the board.
Team 1 have done a very good job of converting their rounds when they find that opening pick. That's the way it's felt throughout the course of this game. You also factor in that they're on defense here, and the way this is looking is pretty tasty. Down towards the final 60 seconds of the round then. Where's the rebuttal? Where's the response from big old BDS? Peek onto the window, Levy. He's sneaking forward, and he takes down Ren Shiro. No game, no life for that man. He is out.
That really was something from Levy, just hitting the man on the fadeaways. He drops down the hatch and takes one with him. 5 versus 3, Team 1 in the ascendancy here. They could be the unlikely team to get themselves a match point. They've been trailing the whole way, but what a time to potentially take the lead for the first time in this matchup. It's to get yourself that match point opportunity. Alemo just buzzing around with those yokai drones, trying to find any information to support his team, but it's this man, one of the best supports in the world, BDS, stepping in, getting those frags that we know he's capable of. Shaiko shut down by Alamo, and that was absolutely brutal. BDS goes in again with another, with a third, but it won't matter. Neskin, it is with the pistol kill to defend his teammate, and that's going to be Team 1 taking themselves onto 6, and they're going to have the guaranteed overtime. They're going to have the opportunity to close this one out for the full 3 points, and boy, would that mix up Group A.
Oh, it could happen. Team 1, the LATAM aggression. As soon as they find themselves that opening frag, it's like a sigh goes across the team. They play so much more loose. They look more like themselves, and they play on the trades. Again, a beautiful round in the books for the defense. 6-5. Overtime or bust. BDS, the might of Europe, could be left on their knees, Tim.
We knew that it was going to be a good game, and boy, is it delivering. And the best bit is we're getting every single drop out of it. We're getting every ounce right now. We're going to be into the 12th round. If BDS can win this one on the attack, then we will go to overtime. So far, BDS, Jackie, have only been successful on one attack. Would you like to hazard a guess at which site it was that they attacked successfully?
Oh, where was it, Tim? Where were we? Are we repeating history right now?
We certainly are. It was Kitchen and Service back in round 9, and that is where Team 1 find themselves to lock this one out.
Oh my, right then. The opportunity is there. The storyline is set. Get yourself sat down, and if you've got it, apply your seatbelt, because your bottom will be blown out of your seat with the plays I can only imagine we're going to be seeing here. 14 frags for Shaiko, huge impact throughout the first half of the game. If he's able to show just a fraction of that now, it could be the edge that they need. We are into it.
BDS being careful, getting the drones in. Renshiro back on that hooker window again, needs to be careful. That was where he lost his life last time around on the upside down rappel. He's actually headed up to the rooftop, I believe, so he's not going to be holding that for too long. He was just there to support while Shaiko put the drone inside, make sure that there was no challenge coming out onto him. Renshiro is drone in himself as well. Plenty of drone action going on. Shaiko, Brede, and Shiro all on the drones, feeding information to Rafal and Alems as they push into the map. They've been able to establish themselves inside of office. Out goes the air jab, so there shouldn't be a push coming through from security. There is a laser gate applied there, I believe, on that door from security to prevent the push coming through. So that's obviously an area that Team 1 have recognised could be a threat to them.
Tell you what's also a big threat. The fact that there's 5 bazillion bruisers waiting to unleash their firepower onto the oncoming BDS side. Down to 1 minute and 40. Bit of early contact done. No real chip damage exchanged apart from a single tag onto Renshiro that shouldn't really harm him too much. It's like stepping on a plug or something. Just a bit of pain for a while.
You know, it's definitely going to break your stride, Jackie. It's definitely going to break your stride. It's going to draw wins.
Confidence.
It's going to wins.
The thing is, if it's an English plug as well, that really does.
Well, you've got the 3-prong. You've got the 3-prong at that problem. You know, you've got an extra prong of pain.
The prong of pain. That's why we've got it. It's not for Earth. It's just for pain.
KDS looking to make a challenge here. It's Neskin who actually finds the first on to Rafal, but KDS will be killed by Shaiko, and that's going to level things up. 4 versus 4. He knows there's another man inside of Aquarium, but doesn't know exactly where Neskin's going to dip away. He's got that MX4 Storm, and he's looking to do some damage with it. He's looking to whip up a Storm. He's going to take shots, though. He dips away, he ducks, and just keeps himself alive as Alamau finds the kill onto Brede. It's all going to Team 1. It's down to Shaiko and Renshiro. You won't find 2 more experienced players inside of this game. 35 seconds left to go. They've got to do something. They've got to do it now, Jackie.
Alamau's been hitting them with a boom bop bow, and BDS need to step up right now. 25 seconds on the clock. Shaiko looking around to recover the diffuser. Issue is he's smoked out and he's popped open by Lagonis. Levy for the final frag as well. And there you have it. Team One have done it. They clutched out the game. They walk away as the Coastline Commanders, and they beat out the European side of BDS.
Well, that's the performance that we've been waiting for out of Team One, and you can see it on their faces. Look how happy Alamau is there. They are feeling relief right now. That is the performance that they knew that they were capable of. They've come in and they've just beaten what has been a very dominant BDS side so far. And I tell you what, there's two other teams in Group A that are going to be very happy about that, because it just throws things into the mix now. There are points galore going on in that group, and it's going to be an interesting finish over the next day and a bit.
God damn. When I went for the prediction, I was thinking Team One.
You've gone big?
I've seen the sort of spunk that they have. I've seen the sort of, commanding plays they bring out on the server, and today was just another one of those days. So let's get back the man that will love that result, because he's the biggest LATAM fan there is. It's Des.
I'm like that guy who's being forced to slowly put like a little party hat on or something, one of the little like party blowers. I'm sat in the corner, miserable looking face, just like, woo, go LATAM. I'm being forced that way, boys. Another magical performance from a LATAM team, taking some names and some skulls here in Mexico. Hey, Jackie, I know you'll be buzzing. I know you had the big prediction on today. Me and Tim, we weren't faithful enough, but you were. Must have been pretty feel good to cast that one out, eh?
It does indeed. I'm really proud of them in terms of their actual plays. You could see that it's there. The improvements are night and day. The squad's been getting better. It was just when I'm sat there thinking, all right, they keep converting these rounds whenever they get the first pick. They're on defense. It just felt like it was writing itself, Des.
Absolutely. Well, not such a terrible stuff, but for BDS, one that they'll look at and think, this could have been one that we had, because Tim, they started out pretty strong. Both teams kind of neck and neck as we got towards the later stages of the game. Shaiko going nuclear, as we all come to expect. But it feels like on the side of Team One, it was definitely more of a team effort. We'll look down the stats after this, but a lot more balanced across that roster than it was for BDS.
It was, and I think BDS will probably look back at this and kick themselves a little bit, because there was a couple of rounds there that, maybe should have gone a different way. I'm thinking particularly the one we've just seen there with the big finish from Lagonis and Lemao. It was 2 versus 3, and BDS are going to look at that round, and even just that one brings you to 6-all in overtime. It's, it doesn't work that simply. Obviously, you've got the butterfly effect. The rest of the game probably goes differently if BDS win that. Who knows? But it's just one of them where there were opportunities for them. But that takes nothing away from Team One. They kept themselves fighting. They were scrappy. They just wouldn't let BDS run away with it no matter how hard they fought.
It's one of them ones that you look at, Jackie, and across a lot of the groups. Trying to get them 2 words together, a bit of a challenge, believe it or not. Across a lot of the groups, with how things are shaking up, BDS were the ones that were still walking away as one of the 2 undefeated teams alongside Liquid. I believe Liquid now stand as the only team that has not yet lost a game. BDS here, kind of losing it a bit in Mexico, but Team One, that's a massive bounce back that's going to blow this group at least wide open.
Oh, man. Look, it's just a LATAM supremacy. I believed in it. I voted for the top 4 based off that fact, and we're seeing it now. Just facts on facts. And here's the one fact that everyone should remember, Des. Stop playing Brazilian teams on Coastline.
Mate, just stop playing Coastline is where you can stop in that sentence for me. But LATAM do seem to be the crystal crowns of this map. Another big win coming in. Team One on the 7-5. And again, looking across those stats, Shaiko, an absolute demon at 16-8. But on the other side, Ace for Team One, a lot of balance across that roster.
There's only really Neskin that managed to pull ahead, and even then only by a couple of kills. And like you say, there's just a real team effort coming in from them, and it was great to see for Team One. The thing is, they've got a lot of work to do. Let's not forget they have slipped behind over the last 24 hours, and that's a foundation for them. It's a great starting point, but they need to continue. They need to find the momentum, and they need to be getting more wins.
You know what really tickles me, Ace? Yesterday we were saying that potentially the last game of Group A, Team One versus Cyclops, could be the decider. Is Cyclops going to this next game against Sonics and win that game? Tomorrow gets even spicier, especially if Team One can pull off a late stage rally. What are you thinking of what we've seen so far? I know we haven't really seen Cyclops or Sonic so far, but from Team One, Jackie, do you think they've got it in them here to get into that top 4 like you were predicting still?
I think they do, but there's one pivotal point, right? The only player that we were really hyping up going into that was Alamau, and he was quiet. There was the round where he had three frags that obviously, you know, basically won the first round off the skin of his own back. After that point, though, pretty quiet, mundane for the most part, and that's not what you expect from Alamau. If he's had a one-off game, fair enough. If he comes back in strong, then yeah. If he's going to be like that for the rest of the event, that's a big factor.
Absolutely. And boys, I've got to ask as well. Tim, come to you for this one. It's been a good, 10 months since you cast with Jackie? You have a bit of fun?
I mean, it's always a bit of fun. You just never know what rhymes he's going to drop in, and you never know what facts. I found out about antigrams. Who knew? It's like an education.
Honestly,
it's an education.
You've
experienced it.
Being retaught the English language is the best way I can describe it. Jackie, your noggin is full of some magical secrets, but it's got some more magical secrets to deliver to us on the next desk. We'll go to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be another war here in Group A. Sonics versus Cyclops. See you in a few.